Republic of China, where we once found a willing international partner, or thought we did, we now face an increasingly aggressive and confrontational adversary. Just last week, in fact, I and my bipartisan, bicameral congressional delegation from a different committee were denied visas to visit the U.S. Embassy in Beijing. This unprecedented step of barring a United States congressional delegation from the country occurred for one reason only: our planned visit to Taiwan. Chinese officials stated clearly that if we canceled our visit to Taiwan, the visas would be issued. When we made clear that canceling the delegation stop in Taiwan was not an option, the officials demanded that I issue a statement endorsing Beijing's version of the One China policy, delegitimizing Taiwan's political existence and further isolating the island's 24 million people. I declined. This incident is emblematic of the challenges the United States and private businesses and industries, such as the NBA, the Apple Corporation, Hollywood studios, now face in confronting China's bullying and intimidation tactics, which grow out of China's regional and global ambitions. Moreover, as a nation, we find ourselves at a fork in the road as to the best course to ensure American access to efficient, reliable, and secure global maritime commerce in this new geopolitical context. The Maritime Silk Road Initiative is one component of an expansive foreign policy promoted by China, referred to as the Belt and Road Initiative. This overarching strategy intends to reshape the global economic and security landscape and seascape through Chinese investments in global infrastructure, including maritime infrastructure. Command of the maritime transportation system has long acted as the stage on which great powers compete. Now, globally, over 90% of commercial goods travel by sea, and the competition is rightly intense. The infrastructure facilitating the transport of maritime commerce, ocean-going vessels, deep-water ports, high-speed railways, and fiber optic cables descend from technologies Western powers once leveraged in the 19th and 20th centuries to expand their access to foreign markets. Today, the Maritime Silk Road Initiative mimics these strategies, for example, by building railways and naval ports in Africa, or laying transatlantic data cables. In some locations, new MSR projects are literally replicating former colonial projects. The Maritime Silk Road, or MSR, initiative is a strategic economic policy and security initiative intended to promote the Chinese workforce, build bilateral ties, foster dependence, and ensure near-exclusive access to foreign ports for Chinese-controlled or affiliated vessels employing Chinese-built technologies. 5G just being the most obvious example. Through MSR projects, China can advance both economic and security objectives simultaneously. These projects act as, quote, dual-use infrastructure, developments that serve both commercial and military purposes. China deploys many different tools to cajole or coerce the cooperation of foreign states, including project finance tools like loan guarantees and conditions, or the control of source funds and debt service obligations. In addition, design and construction standards, technology transfer requirements, and intelligence acquisition through ownership and operation of infrastructure enable China to gain favorable access and control of the marine transportation system. The stakes are high. In an economically interconnected world, foreign-financed infrastructure investments can fuel both development and strategic competition. The MSR is a linchpin of China's dominance of international maritime trade and the development of trained labor to support its operations. China's investment in its national fleet has made China the most prolific shipbuilding nation to date, dramatically altering the dynamics of the global maritime trades. In fact, the 5 major Chinese carriers alone controlled 18% of the global volume of container shipping in 2015. At the same time, we in the United States have allowed our U.S. flag fleet in the foreign trades, our maritime workforce, and our domestic commercial shipbuilding capacity to erode to their lowest points since before the Second World War. As a result, we have critically undermined our military readiness and a secure sea lift capability. The prospect of being unable to mobilize, support, and supply our armed forces for a sustained conflict, whether in the Taiwan Strait, the Middle East, or anywhere else in the world, should concern every member of this body, and it is my experience This is an area of genuine bipartisan agreement and concern. The number of U.S. flagged vessels sailing into international trade has dwindled from 183 ships in 1992 to just 82 ships as of December 2017, while over 3,000 Chinese flagged vessels operate in the international trade today. In a world economy increasingly powered by maritime commerce and blue water presence, we cannot continue to allow the United States' deep water fleet to decay on our watch. This hearing will shed light on the degree to which the Maritime Silk Road Initiative might co-opt the global maritime transportation system for Chinese industrial, commercial, and security gains, disable the remnant U.S. international trading fleet by monopolizing the transport of U.S. commerce, and destabilize both the U.S. merchant marine and maritime supply chain. I'd now like to call on the ranking member, Mr. Gibbs, for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Chairman.